Hey guys, how's it going? Delo304 here. This is an original 2006 Core Duo MacBook. I found this yesterday. Well, actually, I was out with my friends, Chris and Manly, as always, and Manly found it at a thrift store we all went to. We went to a Savers, and Manly found this machine for $12. So it was obviously a MacBook. We could tell by the size, so he ended up buying it. We took it to an Apple store. We got it tested, and it turned out to work. The only thing was it had the flashing folder thing, meaning it couldn't find the system. But we pretty much ruled out anything super serious at that point. It could either be the hard drive itself or just needs an OS reinstall. And yeah, I'm just going to spill it right now. It turned out it only just needed an OS reinstall. I ended up buying the machine off of him yesterday for more than $12, but still a decent deal. And yeah, so I bought it off of him because I knew it would be a fun project. And he said he was just going to sell it anyway, so I kind of wanted it instead. So there we go. This is a 2006 original Core Duo MacBook. It's not in the greatest of shape physically. As you can see, the display kind of moves around. That's because the left hinge is completely gone. This side over here, as you can see, has taken some damage. It's not in the greatest of shape. The rear hinge cover back here is slightly yellowed and cracked. It's got cracks everywhere. The palm rest isn't even attached really. It's coming up on both sides. But despite all of that, this computer is actually fully functional. The battery actually also seems to hold a charge. I let it charge all last night, so we'll see if it does hold a charge. As you can see, $12.99 at Savers. The bottom is kind of in bad shape. But the thing is this is the original Core Duo MacBook, meaning it should have had either a 1.83 gigahertz or a 2 gigahertz Core Duo. But it turns out it has a 2 gigahertz Core Duo. It came with 512 megabytes of RAM. It actually has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and it has a 200 gigabyte hard drive when it's supposed to have a 60. So this thing is actually upgraded from its original configuration. But as you can see, I'm using this kind of nail clipper to help hold up the screen, because if you don't, you can see that the display hinge is completely gone. It needs some help. I'm going to see what I can do about that, but I'm going to guess right now that the hinge is actually broken. As you can see, the palm rest is coming off of the machine on both sides. This side also, and in the front. So this needs some definite help. The trackpad is very worn, the keyboard is worn too, but the machine fully functions. So let's turn it on. This is actually going to be the first official test of the battery. I've actually never tested the battery on this machine before, but it does seem to work. The brightness is down just because I was working on it late last night. But yeah, basically I just burned a Snow Leopard USB on this flash drive. I plugged it in, I booted from it, reinstalled OS X Snow Leopard, and it works just fine now. So, very strange. But it's now running Snow Leopard 10.6.8, and it's working flawlessly, actually. This thing seems to be fully functional, at least from my testing. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. Let me turn the brightness back up. So, there you go. The screen seems to be a little dim. That could just be from age, but it's bright enough, I suppose. As you can see, let me go into About This Mac. And you can see it says 2 gigahertz Intel Core Duo, 2 gigabytes DDR2 RAM. So, that's cool. So, I did get the software all up and running. It's connected to my Wi-Fi network. The battery actually does seem to hold a charge. It says 2 hours remaining, so that's cool. I wonder if we can check the battery, where is it? The battery wear, the cycle count. It'll tell you that in the system profiler, actually. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Power. So, let's see. Cycle count 200. Okay, that's not a lot. It should still be good. Fully charged. It hasn't really lost a whole lot of its capacity. So, that's cool. Nice. So the battery is still good in this machine, which is great. Okay, well, anyway, that is the software side of things. Let's go ahead and fix up the hardware, because that's what needs more help. Let me go ahead and shut this machine down. And actually, wait, before I do that, The fan actually seems to run full speed like all the time. Once it starts sitting for a while, um, it tends to run full speed, which is basically okay. So as you can see, it's at minimum speed right now. The temperatures aren't very high, but once you start doing things on this machine, the fan will run full blast at 6200 RPM. The computer will basically idle at about 60 Celsius. So that actually signals one of two things. One, the thermal paste is gone, which, well, dried up, used up, because this machine is 9 years old. That's probably true. Or the fan is clogged. That's also probably true. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tear this thing down. Well, I'm going to pull the palm rest off, basically. We're going to try to repair as much of this damage as we can. I'm going to try to fit it back properly, and we're going to repaste the CPU with Arctic Silver 5. I'm actually almost out, damn. And we're going to clean the fan. That's basically it. And then we'll talk about performance, and, well, we'll see how it goes from there, actually. Alright, so the bottom of this machine, the first step, I'm referencing iFixit just because I like to do that. I know what I'm doing, I could probably do this, but it's been about a little over 4 years since I've owned a white MacBook, and I've never actually torn one down for real, so yeah. Here's the rechargeable battery, which is still good, as we have verified. That's cool. So basically what we're going to do now is remove this little L-shaped bracket. The hard drive is here, the 2 RAM slots are here. I'm just going to leave those in, but I'm just going to remove the bracket because that is what this says to do. So, yeah. Alright, so after removing a bunch of screws, the palm rest is free, so you can pull it up. Holy crap. That doesn't look good. That looks like there is a lot of growth or corrosion. That is not a good sign. But the machine still works, so I'm going to clean it up as best as I can. Holy crap, that does not look very good. Anyway, you can remove this. Oh, this is disgusting. Ugh. Ugh. Well, anyway, I'm going to try to remove that without breaking it, and I'll be back. Alright, so I got the top case off here, and basically I'm just going to say it is an absolute miracle that this machine still works. You can see that there are just a lot of, it looks like corrosion or mold or something inside this machine. This is disgusting. I'm going to try to clean it up as much as I can, but I am very, very surprised that this machine still works. Alright, that's a little cleaner. Still needs some Q-tipping for this kind of thing, but it is a little cleaner than it was. I do need to remove the heatsink next and repaste both of these chips. There's actually a separate GPU and CPU there, so that's cool. I'm going to remove this heatsink assembly. I'm going to clean up the board, and we'll see how it goes. As for the damage, the hinge, I'm not exactly sure why it's doing this, because yeah, I think this hinge is completely broken because the left hinge seems to be the only one that's doing anything. So, I mean, I might try to fix this, but it's kind of interesting how I think the hinge is completely broken, and there's not much I can do about that without buying a new hinge. So, but I'll try my best. MagSafe port is quite dirty. I'll try to clean that up too. I'll just do my best on this. I mean, there's not really much I can do without replacing the whole freaking assembly. Now, the thing is with this palm rest here, it is actually bent, so I'm going to see if I can bend this back to normal shape, and we'll see if it fits the computer any better. So I do not doubt that this machine has been worked on before, so just I can tell just because you see how this thing is very bent, but I'll do my best here. Okay, so I just started lifting up the heatsink. As we can see, thermal paste doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to reapply it anyway. But this, yeah, the fan is clogged, so I'm going to clean that. Let me see if I can lift this out on video. Kind of stubborn. Oh, there it goes. So, whoops, yeah, the hinge does not like to stay up. But as you can see, yeah, we have a lot of dust. It's probably caked in that fan hole opening. We have a lot of thermal paste here. As you can see, this appears to be the original Foxconn application, so it's been about 9 years. It's time for some help. Again, board still needs cleaned, but we'll see what we can do there. Alright, so progress has been made. The heatsink is now clean, as you can see, and the CPU and GPU here are also clean. I even just like put a microfiber on the dies just to clean them, make sure they're completely clean. As you can see here, we have our Intel 2 GHz Core Duo, and we have the Intel GMA 950 graphics. I still need to investigate this hinge. I might actually take the display off once I'm done with this heatsink project, and I'll see what's going on with the hinge, see if I can fix it. So, yeah, progress. Oh, and I forgot to mention the fan is also completely clean. There was so much dust caked on this, I actually had to go at it with a Q-tip to get most of it off. I got most of it off, as you can see. That's good enough. I'm just going to leave it like that. And, yep. Alrighty, I've done everything I can. I cleaned the board up a little bit, as you can see. Just clean. The CPU and GPU have been repasted, the fan has been cleaned, the heatsink has been cleaned, everything has been cleaned as much as I could. I actually did remove the display, and I figured out that the left hinge is actually completely busted. There's a lot of this hinge design is actually pretty bad because there's a lot of torque on the circular hinge, so that eventually broke, and as you can see, the display flops all over the place. I did try to put some spacers in there with some foam, which did help a tiny bit, but it's still really wiggly, and the screen is crooked, but there's not much I can do about that. I just kind of have to stick a spacer under there while I'm using the computer, which is okay. Yeah, everything went pretty smoothly. I tried to do as much as I could. Let's go ahead and work on this palm rest here, because this is the biggest thing that makes it look like a pile of junk, and it is clearly bent on both sides. So I'm going to see if I can bend this back to normal, and we'll stick it back on. Alrighty, the project is complete. I've done all I can for this machine with my available resources. I might consider purchasing a new hinge for this, but that's a pretty involved project. I would basically have to do everything I just did over again, but we'll see. But the machine has made a pretty good improvement here. I wiped the whole thing down with alcohol, so it looks whiter than it used to. I tried to clean the MagSafe off a little bit, and it sort of worked, but yeah, there's not much we can do about this. As far as the actual condition, this piece broke, unfortunately, during reassembly. I tried to be as careful as I can, but I could, but it was already cracked, so that kind of broke, unfortunately. As you can see, this machine has a lot of cracks. I was able to get the screws in. The palm rest is still not exactly on there. I could not get this screw in. I might try later to get it in, but it just would not screw in right there, unfortunately, and that's what this spare screw is. I'll try to get it in there. But as you can see, we open it up. It's actually not bad. I'm going to angle it like this so the light is evening. But I cleaned this whole palm rest with alcohol, so it looks a little whiter than it used to. I might need to wipe down the display again. There's a bunch of dust on it. But yeah, as you can see, the hinge is still broken. That's just life, unfortunately. The palm rest actually did. I tried to bend it back as much as I could, and it mostly actually is flush with the machine now, especially over here. This made a good improvement. Unfortunately, this part is still kind of sticking up. I can't really fix that, unfortunately, for some reason. It's just too bent up there. But overall, looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and plug it in and boot it up. See if I didn't kill it. So, yeah. So, got a complete clean on the inside. I tried to fix the display, but it didn't really work. So, yeah, it's got a repaste. Well, forgot. I put that away, but I might have needed it to hold up the display. This is going to get kind of annoying after a while. Like, this machine I'm not going to use for anything you know, special because of the bad condition that it is in. It looks like I could give the bezel a nice wipe down. It's kind of dirty, but again, it is functional. So it is working just fine now, which is great. So let me pull up max fan control again, see what the temperatures and stuff are like. So the temperatures seem to be a little bit lower. They're in the low 30s. I can't remember what they were before, but this should definitely help. So fan is running at minimum speed. I think we're good. So yeah, there we go. The MacBook has made a pretty good recovery for being in such bad shape. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys later.